Okay, today we are starting a basic camo tumbler. I'm basically doing a camo tumbler and a wood grain tumbler today, deconstructing the complex peekaboo jewel kind of tumbler. So I'm starting by cutting a piece of plastic wrap down. That cup is a 20-ounce traditional from Maker Flow. So this is going to be my main wrap, and I'm going to cut off a couple of smaller pieces also, because I like to have small pieces ready. This is just generic, this is an old box, but generic plastic wrap, Walmart brand, whatever. Don't use like the press and steel style. Use your regular plastic wraps for this process. Okay, so I have a variety of green inks. These are all Tim Holtz. This is actually gray. This is Pinata's Rainforest Green. I have a brown. I have an orange from Tim Holtz, but it's almost empty. So from my Let's Resin box, I have orange and yellow. I don't always use yellow in these, but I think I'm going to use a couple drops of yellow on this one. So I'm going to start by just randomly dripping inks onto my plastic wrap. I tend to lose most of my orange on these. That was actually the yellow. So I think I'm going to start with a little bit more than I typically do. I may or may not use the slate, the dark color. I don't always find it's necessary because sometimes the green starts working with the orange and you get a lot of browns there anyways. So I like the bright greens, but I also like the more muted greens. Ripped my glove. I'm going to end up with a colorful thumb. I'm going to come in with a couple drops of the brown. Very few. And maybe 1 or 2 drops of the slate, if I can get it open. But not many. Okay. That dropped a big chunk dry. And I'm going to take my cup, and I'm just going to slap around there. And I'm going to let this scrunch. I like to use a like semi-gloss spray paint for these. I feel like the matte soaks the color in much too quickly, and then you don't get the desired effect. I'm probably going to regret the yellow, but it's okay. This is just the first layer. I like to do this entire process all at once. Some people will wrap this, crinkle it, and let it sit overnight and then pull it off, which for a different style of cup, yes, I will do that, but not for these. These I like to be able to manipulate immediately, and that was a lot of ink. So this is going to take a bit of manipulation to get it to where I want it. So I'm actually just going to roll it on there a couple times. But this is where I'm going to grab my smaller pieces and start blotting it as it dries. No two of these ever come out exactly the same. It doesn't particularly matter what colors you start with, as long as you're in the color range of the family you want. So now that that's simmered down a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and roll it again. It's just going to change the texture every time it touches a different wrap. I'm trying to pick up some more of the green. Because you do want some longer, branchier looking lines in here. I also need to get the bottom fully covered at some points. I'm actually pretty happy with how this is shaping up. I think it's looking cool. So, just get a little sticky when you're working with inks. I'm going to grab this pesto. I didn't pull the oregano, which is my other favorite paler green for these. Blot some of that back off. I don't want those like dots, so I'm going to put this back on here. See how that leaves the longer, branchier feeling pieces. So I'm gonna look at it. I don't like this spot here. I'm going to put very few drops of that. And I'm going to go ahead and put like 2 drops of orange. So I actually think I'm pretty happy with this. You'll see the color and the texture really pop as soon as we get it under the epoxy. But I'm just going to let it thoroughly dry for a little bit. And then we will take it over to a turner. You can just keep manipulating the color until you get the texture and style you prefer. But I'm good with this where it's at now. So I'm going to call it and get cleaned up. Okay, time to get a coat of epoxy on here. Okay, so I'm ready to decal this one. I have them cut and removed from the backing. Just going with my standard Hunting Life. This is actually another retirement cup, so. There we go. I went with gray this time. I've not done gray on the camo before. It's just a pale, pale gray. Because I didn't want to use white. Okay. Just going to kind of see how I'm lined up. Pretty good, I guess. And I'm just going to put a very simple butt cut on this side. Okay, time to get a coat on here. Okay, so that is it for this one. Bring it up and show you. I will keep an eye out for bubbles for a little bit here. I believe the Hunting Life decal came from Etsy. I don't know. I've had it for 4 or 5 years at this point. And the deer head, same thing. I've had it for so long, it's hard to remember. I love the way this one looks. I love how every camo tumbler you do gets a different vibe to it. So that is it. for this one. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like, share, subscribe, all of that. I would appreciate it. And I will see you next time.